talk about the final page of this chapter, because unless it's the thing where Luffy's able to manipulate the very laws of nature itself, I think we have to assume that Luffy can basically change the elemental factor of his devil fruit when in his awakening form. So in the last page, when we see him harness that bolt of lightning, I think what he's doing is he's harnessing the elemental power of the Logia. And this does, and I'm not gonna lie, this does kind of fix or validate the human fruit problem I've been having with the gum fruit lately. But let's also talk about the implications of this because if what Oda's conveying here is correct, and if Luffy can in fact change his elemental factor, then the Gorosei have severely downplayed the significance of the gum fruit in terms of its importance to history and just the history of this world in general. Because again, unless I'm misreading Oda's implications with this chapter, then the gum fruit is basically the progenitor, the source fruit where all other devil fruits originated. And granted, I think he's been alluding to that for a while now. I just haven't been paying attention. But yeah, this again, I might be misreading it wrong. I don't want to say it, but it does feel like Oda is confirming that everything we know about devil fruits began with the gum fruit, or the human fruit, or the human fruit, or the human like Nika model fruit. Like, at least that's what I'm assuming he's trying to convey, and which in itself, it would, if that is in fact the case, it would actually make the most sense, because it would add to the legend of who Sun God Nika and Joy Boy were, like the whole legend of them being like a god and a god of revolution and all that. It does kind of would make sense if such a fruit would in fact be able to control all the elemental factors of the devil fruit. Like, it, in that sense, it would make sense it would add credence to the legend. So I think, and if everything I'm saying is in fact the case, it's really becoming mandatory at this point that pretty much Vegapunk has to make his official debut in some capacity after this arc. Like, whether it's like one arc or two arcs down the road, Vegapunk does need to make an appearance, because right now Vegapunk feels like he's the only one aside from the Gorosei with the actual answers about like devil fruit origins and just what exactly the gum fruit in itself is. Like, what exactly is this fruit? How is it capable of using tapping into all three of the different like devil fruit elements? How is that possible? And like beyond that though, we really just need to see Vegapunk at this point in order to get a little bit more clear-cut answers, honestly. And like beyond that though, I think it's fair to say the battle with Kaido is about to come to a close within the next handful of chapters, which at this point is really up to Momonosuke as to whether or not he can stop Onigashima from falling. Which, yeah, if I'm being honest, this is still kind of the one thing where I'm like, Oda, can you just kind of give us an idea of what's going on here? Because even now, I've still got no idea of the angle Oda's approaching like the whole thing with Onigashima from. Because at this point, either Onigashima is going to fall on the Flower Capital, or Momonosuke destroys it. But if he does that, well, we've seen the anime opening, so we know how. We know that Onigashima probably isn't going to be the only thing that gets destroyed, but like in either case, reigniting the flame clouds, it seems to be feeling less and less like an option at this point. But like, I don't know, it feels just weird, and I don't know what exactly he's doing with this. It's with this particular story thread. It's like he's going in one. He seems to be going in like multiple different directions with this one, in order to throw us off balance. But which I guess yeah, I guess it is for the purpose of throwing us balance, but yeah, I wish you'd kind of I wish you'd just pick like a lane, an idea of where we're going with that. Um, and yeah, beyond that, the only major thing I've got to say is Raizo and Jinbei are the MVPs of this arc. Like, it was one thing for Raizo to create the water necessary to put the blaze out, but having Jinbei guide the flow of it throughout Onigashima to cover the entire area and put out the fire, that was just brilliant. Like, it's team-ups like Raizo and Jinbei that not only show the strength of One Piece in itself, but are also great at demonstrating why said characters are considered as strong as they're. Like, in the kind of in the like this is the kind of chapter that proves why Jinbei is considered the first son of the state. He earned that fucking title for a reason, and why Raizo is one of Odin's retainers. Yes, he might look a little goofy, but he still is that fucking powerful. And the chapter, while at the same time, the chapter expertly showed both of their abilities without feeling like it downplayed their characters or strength. And when you really think about it, with Raizo specifically, Raizo kind of taking center stage in the chapter shows this wouldn't have even been possible without him. Like, Raizo really is that kind of character that you don't think about all that much and how important he'll be to the plot. But when you finally see what he's capable of in the moment, you appreciate him all the more for what he does and that he's there. But this team also says something very interesting about Jinbei, which is that honestly, when we get moments where it feels like Jinbei is like underpowered a bit, I don't think it's necessarily Oda underpowering him, but I think what Oda's trying to convey is how much Jinbei is holding back, because if he didn't control himself, he might potentially kill people. And this was something, and just seeing what Jinbei did with Raizo's water technique, like it does show that yeah, the dude is fucking powerful, but he also still just needs to control how much force he puts into something. Otherwise, yeah, he could kill people. And in some ways, this was something I think I've been waiting for a while now to happen, because I knew Jinbei would play a part in putting out the fire, but the way it was done was even better than I thought it would be. With that said, though, the rest of the chapter is basically everyone trying their own like means of escaping from the fire, leading into Raizo and Jinbei's combo attack. And honestly, for as weird as it's going to sound, this chapter got me asking, what the hell is the status update on Zoro? Like, seriously, we more or less covered the status of all the Straw Hats except Zoro. Like, what exactly is the deal with that? Because I look, when it comes to Zoro right now, I know Oda's keeping him in like the back burners for some narrative reason, but since his little meeting with Des itself, we don't know what he's doing now or what the hell has been going on with him. Like, Oda's just kind of left us completely in the dark and gone silent with regards to Zoro. And like, obviously we know he does have plans for Zoro. Like, Oda even said himself that Wano is kind of Zoro's arc, but I guess we got a little bit of an update or taste of what that looks like, because just leaving us with that image of Zoro confronting death and just doop, I'm gonna leave it there for now and focus on other things. But just leaving it there for so long is really just a blue ball move on Oda's part. Like I want to know, like, come on, Oda, what's going on with Zoro right now? That said, I did absolutely laugh hard at Usopp's attempt to put out the fire. Like, it's one of those moments that is typical Usopp shenanigans, but at the same time, you gotta still give the guy props for trying. The only thing is, he actually could have succeeded if he only had maybe a few hundred to 1,000 more, or maybe, I don't know, 1,000,000 of those green sprinklers. It might have worked, but yeah, just a little bit of a funny moment in between there. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Analyst, Crunchyroll. Be sure to hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and just share the video around, guys. Dark Knight of MA, signing off. Later, everyone.